Percival Tuxworth, certified Arctic event coordinator and proud owner of P. Tuxworth Weddings and Soirees, had always believed that nothing could surprise him anymore. Over the course of a storied career, he had orchestrated polar bear bachelor parties, puffin quinceaneras, and even the infamous narwhal manta ray fusion reception, where the best man accidentally skewered the champagne fountain with his tusk. Yet when he opened the email that arrived at 2:17 a.m. one August morning, his flippers trembled enough to slosh cocoa across his igloo desk. Subject: Help. 2 camels, 1 desert, 3 million followers. The senders were none other than Cleo and Clyde, the de facto king and queen of Camelgram, the influencer platform famous for desert selfies, hump care tutorials, and daily motivational spit videos. They wanted a destination wedding. In the desert, of course. And they wanted Percival, a 5-foot penguin who had never been farther south than Patagonia, to plan it. "I must be sleep-scrawling," Percival muttered, pinching himself with a beak. But another ding confirmed the follow-up. "Percy, darling, we've heard about your impeccable flair with impossible venues. Volcanic caldera proposal, genius. We want a ceremony our audience will never stop reposting. Will you do it? P.S. We need snow cone canopies. Non-negotiable. Snow cones in the desert." It sounded like either a punchline or a dare, yet something inside Percival fluttered with excitement. Penguin tradition dictated an emotional quest once in a lifetime, the Great Waddle, during which the bird left the comfort of his colony to discover new horizons. Perhaps this was it. Besides, declining would be foolish. Cleo and Clyde radiated star power. A successful camel wedding could catapult P. Tuxworth from boutique specialty to global sensation. And so, with a decisive flourish, Percival tapped accept. 3 weeks later, the airport air conditioning in Marrakesh malfunctioned the moment Percival waddled off the plane. His feathered tuxedo clung to him like wet Velcro. "I am melting faster than my reputation if this goes badly," he quipped to his assistant, an eager young puffin named Nova, whom he'd recruited for aerial shots and pep talks. Outside, a white stretch dune buggy idled at the curb. A chauffeur in iguana sporting mirrored aviators held up a sign, "Penguin Prodigy." Percival climbed aboard, ignoring the bemused stares from tourists who'd clearly never seen a penguin in full event planner regalia striding across hot asphalt. Inside the buggy, he found chilled seaweed water, Cleo's considerate touch. Even so, the desert drive quickly tested his fortitude. The AC sputtered and grains of sand invaded every feather. By the time the buggy reached the influencer couple's oasis estate, Percival felt like a half-deflated beach ball. "Percy!" cried Cleo, galloping forward, her tawny coat shimmering with natural highlights that had literally broken the internet last month. "You look positively glacial." "More like glacial runoff," he replied, squeezing perspiration from his bow tie. Clyde offered a lopsided grin and 120-kilogram camel hug. Influencers of their caliber had perfected the effortless greeting, affectionate enough to feel intimate, but timed precisely for drone footage. "This," Cleo said, trotting beside him toward the villa entrance. "Picture it. Golden hour vows, sand-etched aisle, tumbleweed confetti, and an after-party under the stars streamed to every time zone. Our followers expect authenticity, sustainability, and something absolutely bonkers. Think Tundra meets Sahara." Percival's inner logistics manager began mapping contingencies. He would need 1, a venue, preferably a dune crest with stable footing and natural backlighting. 2, climate control. For the penguin himself, the imported snow cones and the snow globe centerpieces he'd promised. 3, entertainment, camel-friendly, cross-species inclusive, algorithm-optimized. 4, photogenic wow moments cued at precise intervals for peak engagement. He took a cleansing breath, which tasted vaguely of cinnamon sand, and smiled. "Leave the impossible to me." Week 1. Location aberration. Percival's first task was scouting. He visited rocky plateaus, too jagged for hooves, a date palm grove, lovely but date pit stuck in humps, and an abandoned movie set shaped like an ancient palace. Ideal visuals, but rumored to be haunted by dramatic goats. At last, he landed on the dune of whispering echoes, a sweeping golden amphitheater naturally sculpted into gentle terraces by centuries of wind. The acoustics were so perfect that even Nova's tiny puffin tweet reverberated like a stadium roar. "There's just one teensy snag," noted the local guide, a sandfox with clipboards for ears. "At sunset, the temperature nosedives 20 degrees. Guests may freeze their tails off." Percival grinned. "Darling, where I come from, that's called spring brunch." He drafted a plan: heated cushion seating for cold-blooded invitees, frozen mist fans for warm-blooded ones, and emergency ponchos with the couple's logo, dual humps forming a heart, because merch matters. Week 2. Suppliers, sandstorms, and social media fiascos. Back at the Oasis Villa, Percival convened a vendor summit. The chef of Fennec Fox named Claire pitched a menu of cactus blossom scones and rotisserie scorpion skewers glazed with agave reduction. At the mention of insects on sticks, Percival slapped a wing across his beak. "Cleo's mother is vegan. Spiders are not plants." Claire frowned, but replaced scorpions with zucchini spirals, shaped like scorpions. Compromise, the cornerstone of weddings. For entertainment, Percival booked DJ Mirage, a meerkat famed for remixing traditional belly dance tunes with techno bleats. Mirage insisted on visibility platforms so guests wouldn't lose him in the crowd. "I am, how you say, vertically discreet," the meerkat admitted, hopping to demonstrate. But drama spiked when Clyde live-streamed a behind-the-scenes teaser, revealing the vendor meeting too early. The feed captured Claire taste-testing pseudo-South Scorpion zucchini. Followers erupted, Bug Barbecue trended worldwide, and Clyde's sponsorship with Vegan Vistas nearly tanked. Percival initiated damage control, releasing a carefully edited clip titled "Plant-Based Illusions," bringing desert gourmet to life. Crisis averted, but it cost him 6 hours and 3 cooling packs under his tuxedo. Week 3, Snowmageddon. The signature snow cone canopy bar posed the biggest headache. Percival arranged to import an industrial ice shaver and 2 metric tons of compressed glacier chips from his cousin at McMurdo. However, customs refused entry. Suspicious white powder. After frantic calls and a cameo from Cleo's attorney, a stoic tortoise who billed by the minute but spoke by the hour, authorities relented, provided the ice be escorted by armed refrigeration technicians. When the precious cargo arrived, desert temperatures promptly soared to record high. The portable freezer hissed like a tea kettle. Nova squeaked, "The cones are sweating." Percival, sweatier, sprinted to the research tent and jury-rigged a cooling pipeline using flexible snorkels, algae gel packs, and a misappropriated Slurpee machine borrowed from a nearby gas station. Miraculously, the pipeline funneled slurry into a sub-dune cavern, where sand's natural insulation stabilized it. Crisis 2 dodged. Rehearsal day. When cames collide, rehearsal unfolded like a reality TV crossover episode directed by a caffeinated cobra. Cleo's Brideshump squad, dressed in sequined saddle blankets, argued about spacing for the ceremonial walk. Meanwhile, Clyde's groom crew practiced choreographed tail flicks, frightening Mirage's subwoofers into involuntary bass drops. "Spacing, people," Percival flapped. "Remember, we are filming in 16:9 ratio. If you wander off frame, I will crop you like yesterday's feed." Things escalated when Cleo discovered Clyde planned a secret vow, a freestyle rap summarizing their love story. "You want to rap?" she gasped. "We discussed sonnets." "I'm a modern camel, babe," Clyde retorted. Followers love spontaneity. Percival intervened, positioning himself between 2 500-kilogram quadrupeds. "Let's merge both ideas." Clyde raps in iambic pentameter. "Shakespeare meets sand trap." Amazingly, everyone agreed, mainly because they couldn't parse iambic pentameter and assumed it meant more hashtags. Later, a rogue sandstorm barreled in, scouring signage and burying the ring-bearer's path. The ring-bearer, incidentally, was a gerbil strapped to a tiny dune buggy for maximum adorability. The gerbil revved away, yodeling in terror. Percival sighed. Add rodent retrieval to the checklist. The wedding day, 4 o'clock. I am. Sunrise sentiments. Percival awoke inside his portable igloo, chilled not by ice, but nerves. He quadruple-checked the run sheet, drone formations, vow timing, temperature curves. Outside, the sky blushed. Nova fluttered overhead, camera rig attached to talons. Light's perfect, boss. 5:30 a.m. to the makeup menagerie. In the bridal tent, Cleo perched while a lizard makeup artist airbrushed her eyelashes with crushed pearl dust. Glitter humps or matte humps? The lizard asked. Both, Cleo said. Left hump glitter, right hump matte. Symmetry is passé. 6:45 IEM. Guest check-in shuttles rolled up, unloading a parade. An alpaca fashion blogger wearing a cashmere shawl reading Spit Happens. Two astropodcasters live narrating every step. A Python wellness guru hugging crystals. Each guest received a thermoregulating scarf and a printed algorithm friendliness contract promising to tag @CamelKnot 2023 in all content. Lawyer Tortoise stamped them with his shell. 7:30 AEM, the processional. The dune of whispering echoes shimmered like spun gold. Mirage started the playlist, an ambient remix of camel hoofbeats mixed with dubbed whale calls, honoring Percival's nautical roots. The gerbil ring bearer, located at 3:00 a.m. after a heroic rescue by Nova, zoomed down the aisle, tossing biodegradable sparkle dust. Cleo emerged, veil billowing like a haute couture sail. The crowd gasped. Hashtags proliferated. Clyde wiped a tear, whether from emotion or windblown sand remained ambiguous. But just as Cleo reached the altar, a carved sandstone hump duo, a low croak echoed. From the dunes arose Horus, Clyde's estranged cousin, a one-hump dromedary who considered influencers a plague. Horus had sworn to protest, brandishing a sign, "Stop the posting, start the living." Percival's eye twitched. This was not on the run sheet. Horus stamped toward the altar, streaming a rant of anti-hashtag philosophy. In seconds, the event teetered on meltdown, literal and figurative. Enter Percival, crisis mode. Percival stepped forward with surprising volume for a bird his size. Horus, darling, allow me to remind you that weddings, at their heart, celebrate unity. If you truly wish to encourage authentic connection, perhaps remain and witness an authentic commitment. Horus hesitated. Cameras pivoted. Livestream comments exploded. Philosopher Camel, is he single? Percival continued, your presence here proves you care for Clyde. Honor his happiness by supporting, not sabotaging. It worked. Either Percival's speech or the sudden promise of social media clout softened Horus. He lowered the sign and took an unassigned seat next to the Python wellness guru, who offered him a calming crystal. 8:00 iambic vows Clyde launched into his rap, now cunningly structured in iambic pentameter. My love, across the dunes I plod for you. 2 humps, 1 heart, our hashtags ever true. Gasps, applause, a cricket cameo. Cleo followed with a heartfelt sonnet, delivered via interpretive neck sway. Percival discreetly dabbed his beak with a silk napkin, forgetting for a second that he was melting. 9:00 a.m.'s the kiss, the blast. As they kissed, Nova's drone fleet swooped, releasing a confetti burst of freeze-dried snowflakes, a compromise between desert dryness and penguin heritage. The effect was stunning, white glimmering against bronze dunes. Guests oohed, future reposts guaranteed, but the snowflakes triggered temperature sensors on the portable mist fans, which interpreted cold particles as overheating malfunction. They activated emergency mode, spraying a torrent of chilly vapor that collided with Eclair's buffet furnaces, sending a plume of steam skyward directly into Mirage's electrical outlet. The DJ booth sputtered, speakers popped, and an ominous silence swallowed the ceremony. Then, inexplicably, Mirage's backup generator kicked in at triple speed, launching a bass drop so seismic it rippled sand into spectacular concentric circles around the altar. Guests screamed, some in delight, some in fear, and the sonic shockwave knocked Horus's protest sign into the snow cone station, upending gallons of shaved ice. At first, Percival's soul left his body, a penguin's worst nightmare. Cold catastrophe, hot embarrassment. But then, as the ice cascaded down the dune forming a natural luge, the guests erupted into spontaneous joy. The Python wellness guru screamed, "Serpent slide!" and slithered downhill. Ostrich podcasters narrated breathlessly. Even Cleo shrieked with excitement, yanking Clyde onto the impromptu ice chute. "Percy!" she yelled between giggles. "This is viral gold!" Percival blinked. Viral. Gold. Magic words. He signaled Nova. "Angle 3, wide, shot. Capture their faces. Capture everything." Soon every creature was slip and sliding. Mirage remixed the bass drop into a jubilant anthem. The disaster had morphed into the party piece of the century, and it was utterly organic. No scriptwriter could claim it. 10:30 a.m. reception reboot. After the luge frenzy, guests converged upon the buffet, hungry and euphoric. Eclair, ever adaptable, repurposed snow cones into gazpacho slushies. Zucchini scorpion illusions sizzled beside vegetarian kebabs carved into heart shapes. Spoiler? Mother of the Bride approved. Horace, now a minor celebrity, recorded a duet with Mirage spoken word sack but accompanied by electronic meerkat squeaks. It trended faster than the wedding itself. Cleo and Clyde unveiled their merch table, limited edition mini surfboards, emblazoned with "We humped together," with 10% proceeds donated to desert clean water programs. Applause roared. Lawyer Tortoise nodded so vigorously his glasses fell off. Noon, Penguin, exhaustion, or victory. As the sun ascended, guests dispersed to cooling tents. Percival retreated under a parasol, feathers drooping. Cleo approached, eyes shimmering. "Percy, you genius. This fusion of chaos and elegance, exactly our brand." "Chaos wasn't on the invoice," he sighed. "But your adaptability was." She handed him a silver flask of electrolyzed krill smoothie. "We've already gained 200,000 new followers, all praising the icy oasis moment you orchestrated." He nearly protested that he hadn't orchestrated the deluge until he realized orchestrating didn't always mean controlling. Sometimes it meant enabling spontaneity to thrive in curated conditions. The desert, with its unpredictable storms and rebellious electronics, had reminded him that perfection was overrated. Authenticity, however, was priceless. Postscript, 2 months later, P. Tuxworth weddings and soirees now boasted inquiries from giraffe sommeliers, snow leopard snowboarders, and an octopus polyamory pod seeking an underwater vow exchange. Percival leased a global HQ, half iceberg, half treehouse, temperature zoned by floor. Nova curated highlight reels titled "When Penguins Plan Heat Waves." And Cleo and Clyde, their anniversary post featured a still from the infamous ice luge captioned, "True love is sliding into the unknown together. Chill and thrill." Every comment was a heart or a hump emoji. Percival kept a printed screenshot above his desk. On stormy days, he'd stare at it, remembering sand against feathers, stress against deadlines, and the triumphant laughter that followed embracing the unexpected. After all, if a penguin could throw the wedding of the century in the blistering desert for 2 camel influencers and come away viral, hydrated, and marginally sane, what couldn't he do? He fluffed his bow tie, dipped his quill in squid ink, and scribbled the new company motto: "Extraordinary begins where comfort ends. Bring your dreams, no matter how absurd, and let's make them slide."